Hello everyone. I wanted to start today's video by thanking the subscribers. So apparently I have 11, which is 11 more than I thought I would have. Only a few have actually opted to share with me who they are. And I'm gonna subscribe right back. Sorry I haven't done it already. I don't consider myself to be a YouTuber. Like I've said before, I'm using this video, I'm using this more as a video blog for myself so that I can go back and listen instead of cramping my hand up writing in a journal. And I figured if my thoughts and my journey and how this plays out could help anybody else, then why not share it? I am an open book. I don't really keep much to myself. So, yeah. So thanks for the subscribes. Random Susie, Camilla, Sean, Mystery Guest 1948, Gigi, Leah, and Saxeep. Sorry. If that is, I butchered it, but thank you. Feel free to share my ideas and my videos if you know anybody that might benefit. I mean, it's not why I do it, so it doesn't matter. But the purpose of today's video is to talk about the liquid diet. So my bariatric surgery, let's talk about I've talked about already how I got here. So I went through the bariatric clinic and now I've been approved for surgery, and I've chosen the bypass as opposed to the sleeve, and my surgery is in 2 weeks as of today, October 30th. And so my doctor requires me to be on a liquid diet for 3 weeks before surgery. I understand the purpose of this liquid diet to be to shrink your liver. So if you imagine your liver and your stomach kind of overlapping inside, when you're obese, you more often than not have fatty liver, which means fat deposits have deposited in your liver and has caused your liver to expand. So it's bigger than your typical gym, healthy eater, goer liver. So when it's bigger than it's normally supposed to be, and the stomach is probably bigger than it normally is supposed to be, they're kind of taking up each other's space. And to go in willy-nilly and do a surgery on your stomach when your liver is kind of occupying some of that space, it really increases the risk that they could nick your liver. I mean, they're going in with tools, like you're not opened up and spread and then they can, pick your stomach up and go, okay, here's what we need to do. That's tools of the past. So now they're doing the little incisions throughout, they're putting their little tools in, and they're doing this. And so if your liver is taking up the space, there's a huge risk of nicking that or causing damage to your liver, which could be bad. So the purpose of the liquid diet is to shrink your liver so that those risks are minimized. Of course, there's always that risk, and but this is to help minimize that. Some people are on the liquid diet longer than others. I'm in a support group for somebody who was on it for 88 days. I cannot imagine 88 days of liquid diet. I would die. So let me talk about what my liquid diet is. So Glucerna, you see that lovely thing? These are the Ensure for diabetics. So I'm allowed to have 5 of these a day. You can get some variety, but they mainly come in vanilla, chocolate, and strawberry. I can't add anything to them, like fruit to make a smoothie. I can add flavorings and extracts as long as there's no sugar or calories. I can add a sixth one in a day if I'm hungry. And I can mix them up with Ensure from time to time. They're about 270 mils. And, you know, there's a bunch of protein and like 225 calories. So I'm allowed to have anywhere of 1,100 to 1,200 calories a day, which is about 800 less than your typical weight loss calorie guidelines for a woman. And I'm also allowed to have, you know, I'm supposed to have water, black coffee or tea, which I take advantage of. Hot. I can have Crystal Light or any of the Mios or Squirt concentrate that you add to water as long as there's no sugar. I can have soup broth as long as there's no more than 10 calories per cup. I can have sugar-free popsicles and sugar-free Jell-O. And basically you're watching your calorie content. So I never thought that a cup of soup broth would make me so happy, but it really is the highlight of my day. So that's the liquid diet. And like I said, every surgeon is different. Some surgeons don't require you to do a liquid diet. Some just require you to do a low calorie diet, and you can eat what you want within a certain calorie fat range. Some surgeons have a full liquid diet where it's almost as restricted as this one, but you can add a few things like yogurt and frozen fruit and things in as long as you're within a certain range. Everybody is different. This is what my surgeon required, and I only had to do it for 3 weeks, which was nice. But I can tell you 1 week in that it sucks. But it's all mental. It's all up here. I am not hungry. I can tell you that right now. I get hungry. I have a shake and I'm not hungry anymore. I usually have a shake every 2.5 to 3 hours, depending on what I'm doing. Sometimes it's a little less, sometimes it's a little more, depending on what I'm doing. Oh, I also have to add in extra protein powder. So you can get flavorless protein powder. Beneprotein, Arbonne has a flavorless protein powder. Isoprotein has a flavorless protein powder, as long as it's within a certain protein calorie range. And I actually have to add that into some of my drinks. I usually add it into one of my protein shakes in the middle of the day, and I add ice and a little bit of extra water just to get it in. It doesn't matter when I take it. They want me to take in a few more grams of protein and less calories. So yeah, I add that in once a day. I think it's an extra 15 grams of protein that I take in a day, and which ends up being like 80 calories or something. So I'm definitely not hungry. It's all in my head. The minute that you tell somebody they can't do something, that's the one thing they want to do, right? You tell a kid not to use their crayons on the wall, and you come back and Picasso has drawn you a painting. And because that's human nature. It's human nature to want to do the one thing that you can't do. You see a creepy house and it says keep out, and where are you going to go have a party? You're going to have your party in this creepy house. So that's one thing I really struggled with. I have no choice. I don't get to eat what I want to eat when I want to eat it. I've never been good with routines. I find that I get bored when something becomes routine, and I buck at it, and try to push against it. And so, honestly, the first 3 days were tragic. Day 3, my boyfriend had meatloaf and garlic mashed potatoes, and I cried. I actually sat with my shake and tears ran down my face. Not because I was hungry, but because that looked so good and it smelled so good and I couldn't have it. It's like I was mourning food. I'm mourning food. And that's a mind frame that we have to change. We eat to live. We don't live to eat. And living to eat is what got me here. Thinking about my next meal and thinking about what I want for dessert and thinking about what restaurant I'm going to go to next weekend. Like, that's how I got here. And now I'm undoing 35 years of conditioning, and it's hard. I'm not going to say I didn't cheat. I'm not going to say last night when he had mashed potatoes, I didn't dip my finger in and have a small fingerful. I'm not going to say the other day when he had pizza, I didn't dip my finger into the sauce and lick the sauce. But I can say that I haven't had a mouthful of anything. I haven't what I would call really cheating, because I haven't put a mouthful of food in my mouth and swallowed it. I've just kind of, let me try that. And just kind of licked it, and that was it. So, yeah, it's undoing all of this conditioning. I have to remember that I'm doing this to get healthy. I'm doing this so I don't hurt. So I don't have to take a handful of pills. And it's not forever. It's 3 weeks. And then after surgery, once I get home from the hospital, you start adding back in full fluids. So I can have blended soup and I can have yogurt. And, a couple of weeks after that, I can have a chunky soup and maybe a scoop of mashed potatoes. And then after that, I might even be able to have a bite of chicken. So I have to remember that it's not forever. It's just for now. And it's all in your head. For anybody doing your liquid diet, it's all in your head. Okay, I'm going to do another video back to back here because I'm running out of time, but I really want to chat. So stay tuned.